energy cannot be created or destroyed, but energy can only be converted or transformed from one form to another. So this is a very important fundamental principle of energy in physics. Since energy cannot be created or destroyed, this is the principle called the principle of conservation of energy. Now, you're all welcome. Here is the activity set for you that we are going to do it together here. It is about energy. Now, if you cannot see it well on my screen there, I will read it so that you follow. The activity is about energy. Let us read and you follow. Juliet and Rahman failed to agree in a discussion that was organized towards the end of term 1 last year. The discussion was whether energy exists in forms or not. Juliet said there can't be forms of energy, whereas Rahman said there exist about 7 of them. As a high school student in Senior 2, write a report guiding them clearly about their argument and include the application of these forms of energy in daily life. During holiday, Rahman went to a construction site to work. As he was at work, an engineer lifted a heavy stone of 2,200 kilograms from a deep hole through a vertical height of 7 meters from the bottom of the hole using a crane within 2 minutes. As a physicist, help him to know how much work was done by the crane in lifting the stone. Also find the power of the crane. Use G to be 10 meters per second squared. So, as a student who has studied physics, this question requires you to write a report advising these people very well on the forms of energy so that they know. Therefore, you will explain all these forms of energy in writing, including their applications in our day-to-day life. So, we are going to begin now with the forms of energy, and we shall look at the calculations later. Let us dive in together. Come on. The sun is the one that enables us to do a lot of work on this earth. Therefore, it is the major source of energy. Now, if energy can be converted or transformed from one form to another, what are these forms of energy? There are basically 7 forms of energy that I will try to discuss with you now. The first form of energy is thermal energy, or you may call it heat energy. This is the energy formed by the movement of particles. When particles frequently move, they create some kind of heat, and that is heat energy. This heat energy helps us to warm ourselves. The heat energy, we can use it in our daily life situations, even for drying food harvested from the garden. Another form of energy we have is radiant energy. This is the energy that travels in forms of waves that is seen as light, which we may call it light energy. Light energy is very helpful. It helps us to see. We are able to walk from one place to another because we are able to see. Light can also be used in the process of photosynthesis by green plants for making their own food. Another form of energy that we may talk of is chemical energy. Chemical energy is the energy developed due to chemical reactions. Even when we eat food, chemical reactions take place. The process of metabolism, the breaking down of the food that we have eaten, it provides us with the energy, and that is chemical energy. This energy helps us to work, to operate, to do things, because now we have that energy. It can also take place in the vehicle when the fuel is put, like the petrol is put in the engine. The burning of the fuel is the chemical reaction that takes place. So this brings the chemical energy that enables the vehicle or the machines to operate. Another form of energy that we may talk of is, okay, let us see. This one is mechanical energy. Mechanical energy is divided into two. Under mechanical energy, we have the kinetic energy and the potential energy. The kinetic energy is the energy possessed by a body in motion. When a body is in motion, it is having kinetic energy, while the potential energy is the energy possessed by the body by the virtue of its positions. So these two energies form what we called mechanical energy. So if we run, we play, it is the kinetic energy that is helping us to run, to walk, to move, to jump. This is all kinetic energy. So when I can have like this rubber, the energy can be stored in this rubber. When I stretch this rubber like this, the rubber has got some potential energy because of the virtue of its position. Some length has extended. When I release, it gets now kinetic energy. Energy is transforming now from potential to kinetic energy. It moves. So this, if I have this pen at this point, it is having potential energy because it is at rest at some level, the virtue of its position. So when I release it, it will be having kinetic energy because it will move. So another form of energy is electrical energy. Electrical energy is the energy formed by the flow of charges. When the charges flow, it produces electrical energy. Electrical energy is very important. It is the one that we use to power our electrical appliances at home. TV, okay? Whatever electrical appliances that you use local at home is using electrical energy. We also have sound energy. Sound energy is produced by vibrations of materials. Right now I'm producing sound because my tongue is vibrating. So through vibration of matter or of any material, sound is produced. This energy helps us to speak, to communicate, yeah, and also helps us in entertainment. Another form of energy, which may not be very common, is nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is the energy stored in the nucleus of atoms. So, through a well-established nuclear plant, this nuclear energy can be converted or transformed to produce electricity, which now forms electrical energy. This may not be very common in all countries. Other countries have nuclear energy. So these are the important forms of energy that you need to know as you are studying energy as one of the topics in physics. Thank you very much. If you have liked this knowledge, if you have understood something about energy today, please follow for more. Okay, another part of the question, I've broken it down for you already here. So let us follow. It is more of calculation work. So they were asking us to find the work done by the crane and also find the power of the crane. So the crane is just a plant or a machine that is used at the construction site for carrying out those heavy materials upwards. Now, we were given some information. The mass of the stone that was carried by the crane was 2,200 kilograms. Then the crane carried that mass of stone through the height of 7 meters. The vertical height h is 7 meters. So the time it took for the crane to raise up that stone was 2 minutes. Work done by the crane is what they're asking us to find. And the power of the crane is also what they're asking us to get. From the formula that work done is equals to force times distance. Okay, work done W is equals to F times D. F is the force and D is the distance. So work done is equals to force times distance. But since the work is done against gravity, okay, there's a gravitational force there, so the work is done against gravity. Therefore, that force now becomes mass times the gravity. Force is equals to mg. And the distance d is now the height h. Therefore, work done W, if I want to calculate work done, I'll use this formula. W is equals to mgh. That is work done is equals to mass times acceleration due to gravity times the height. This is because the work is done against gravity. The acceleration due to gravity g is given. They told us to use 10 meters per second squared. So that is the acceleration g. That's the value of g. Therefore, you are left with only one task, is to multiply this. Work done, therefore, is equals to the mass, which is 2,200 times g, the value of g is 10, times the height, which is 7. So the work done by the crane is 154,000 joules. So remember carefully that the unit for work is in joules, which you can put it as J. So the work done is here in joules. How can I get now the power? So the power of the crane I can calculate by using this formula. Power is equals to work done, or in other way, we can say energy spent divided by time taken. So power is equals to work done divided by time, or energy spent divided by time. For this case, we are going to use this formula to say that power is equals to work done divided by time t. Time was given to be 2 minutes. That time we have to convert it into seconds. In 1 minute, we have 60 seconds. What about 2 minutes? So to get time, we are going to multiply 2 times 60. So we get the total time in seconds. The total time is 120 seconds. Now that I have the time, I come back to my formula, then I substitute. Power is equals to 154,000, which is work done, divided by the time, which is 120 seconds. The power is now obtained here. The power of that crane is 1283 watts. The units for powers is in watts, W. So that is the power of the crane. You see, that machine is very powerful. That's why we are having 1283 watts. Thank you.